Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Richard Gearhart. You're watching a very special edition of KSBY News on Facebook Live. Throughout the Kristin Smart murder trial, we've taken you beyond the headlines with in-depth interviews related to the case. This week, the trial came to a conclusion, and we learned the fate of the two men accused of being involved in her murder and its alleged cover-up. Tonight, you'll hear from San Luis Obispo County Sheriff Ian Parkinson about his involvement in the case. First, let's get you up to speed on the verdicts. On Tuesday, a jury found Paul Flores guilty of the first-degree murder of Kristin Smart. The two were students at Cal Poly when Kristin disappeared in 1996 following an off-campus party. Witnesses said Flores was the last person they saw with her that night. Prosecutors maintained that he killed Kristin while trying to rape her. Paul's father, Ruben Flores, was charged as an accessory after the fact. He was accused of helping hide Kristin's body, but a jury found him not guilty. Paul Flores is awaiting sentencing. That is scheduled for December 9th. He faces 25 years to life in prison. While the trial is now over, Sheriff Parkinson says the investigation continues. I spoke with him at length this week about the more than 26-year-old case and what comes next. Often, we only have time to show you just a portion of an interview, but this time, here is our full conversation.
Well, the reaction was, when I got there and found out early that there was a verdict, I was relieved. I was asked yesterday about how I felt, and it was a tough question for me to answer because I hadn't really given it much thought because I have such mixed emotions on it. I think the fact that we got Paul Flores into court and in front of a jury, I think was really important to me. I believe in our system, and the conviction, I was happy for the conviction because I truly believe that Paul was absolutely responsible. But on the same token, a little sad because we have not found Kristin, and that was always, my goal and our challenge, and so I kind of felt a little sad still for the family that we still had not accomplished that. So it was really a mixed bag of emotions for me.
Did you get a chance to talk with the Smart family at all yesterday?
Quite a bit. Yeah, quite a bit.
And what do they have to say to you, and what did you have to say to them?
They're super good people. They were super grateful for everything we did. I've had a long relationship. I accidentally said 2019 yesterday. It was 2009 when I first met them, and so I've had a relationship with them since. And not knowing too much about the case when I met with them at the beginning, I just understood losing a 19-year-old first-year college student had to be extremely difficult, and I promised them that I would do everything possible to determine who was responsible and bring it to justice.
Can you walk me briefly back through that? You come into office, and then sort of making promises you're going to really look into this case. It still was a long time coming. What was that process like over those years?
It was, and my philosophy at the beginning is that we have to start at the beginning. I felt very strongly that you can't just take the case where it was today or at that point and try to move forward. We had to back up. We had to rewind. So one of the first things we did was I had all the evidence in the case pulled out and gone through again, looking for any trace evidence, DNA evidence, anything we could find. Because as a response to a crime, we go to the scene of the crime, and that's the first thing we do. We collect evidence and we start interviewing people. Well, there have been a tremendous amount of people interviewed countless times, and I really kind of wanted a clean slate. Let's talk about what we can find evidence-wise. And we know we had some challenges with that, of course, because Paul moved out of the dorm, and so we didn't really have a scene that we ordinarily would have. But I think that was important, and also technology has changed tremendously. What we didn't find then, we might find now. So we had a pretty extensive search of that property that we had recovered, including our team, the FBI team, and a Department of Justice team. They all worked together, and so we had multiple groups and multiple eyes. So I kind of had this hope going in that was going to be a real good beginning, and that we would really find something of significance. And so as time went on and we just kept going down one road ended up being a dead end, having to do a U-turn, a left or right turn, and go to the next, possible lead. Time just moved fast, and so, but the family never lost faith. I always told the family, look, there's things I can't tell you. There are things I couldn't say publicly because it would damage the case. But I'll always tell you if I can't tell you, rather than pretend that I don't know the answer. And they were really good with that. They were really good with understanding that, hey, I can't go there. I can't have that discussion. So a lot of my conversation with them is trying to give them enough to understand that things were being done. They just didn't know the detail of what that meant over the years. So, and trying to manage their expectations, because it's a tough thing to pick up a case that's that has gone unsolved that long. And so it was trying to keep them understanding that, hey, just because we're going down this road and we have this lead that we really are interested in, and it fails, doesn't mean it's over. We're just gonna keep going. And so they got to experience that a lot, where they would know we were doing a dig or we were doing something, and ended up not panning out. And so I think as time went on, we developed a pretty good relationship and understanding each other, and kind of came to expect regular contact with the Smarts. Either they'd come down here, I've been up there several times, or by telephone. Telephone was very common.
Through that whole process, obviously there were moments of frustration. Ever any temptation to give up on the case, or to not move forward?
Yeah, we reached one point where we just felt like we were out of leads. We felt like it was getting stale. We were repeating a lot of things. We were chasing, rumors and speculation that wasn't panning out. And so there was a point that we got frustrated, and we had a long talk with the family. We went up to Stockton and met with them and talked about, hey, where we're at and where our struggles were. But interestingly enough, that conversation kind of sparked some ideas for us. We talked about, well, what about this? Okay, well, we can consider that. So that was the only point of where we thought maybe we were at the end, and that conversation kind of invigorated us a bit to look at other things, and it kept going. It never stalled. But I was really concerned that we were running out of opportunity and finding real evidence.
So lots of talk about the podcaster, obviously, in court and yesterday during the press conference. How much of a role, did he play in this?
Well, I think Chris Lambert brought a different perspective. I've interviewed with you guys, nearly every year, it seems, on anniversary dates and stuff. And the story gets out there, and I always wanted to do that, because the more people that knew, the more people that heard, maybe there was something out there that people just didn't think was important, that it would spark them to say, maybe I ought to tell them this. The podcast kind of took that to a little different level, because Chris did a great job of telling a story. So it reached people everywhere. And, you imagine, KSBY reaching a market of a couple few counties, and then you've got a podcast that's reaching across the country. So people that lived here, were listening to it. People began to know the story and be really interested in hearing the whole story. And so I think that just getting the word out and getting people interested in it really helped. But then, Chris had people approach him that were afraid to contact us. And so there was definitely some leads that Chris got that probably was purely due to his podcast.
So in terms of evidence, how, when you were watching this sort of play out, there wasn't a lot of physical evidence, and we'll get back to to more of that in a minute, but no body, no DNA, no sort of smoking gun, if you will. Were you concerned as you were sitting there waiting for the verdict to come down?
No. No, I was hoping. I knew what I knew. I knew what I believed, and I knew what I believed we could and did prove. I always kind of said that, hey, this is what a jury is all about. They get to hear it and they get to make a decision. You know, you develop a sense when you're around a victim for a period of time. You want to help. You want to help. And so, can you get a little clouded in, wait, is this really it? Is this really enough? And that's challenging. But I kind of went in with it saying I really believe that we have proved it. And if the jury feels that we didn't, then that's what their job is, and I have to support that. Certainly I was appreciative of that. But the case, when you talk about smoking gun, there's not that many cases, believe it or not, that have a single smoking gun. A lot of them are built on a collection of things, physical evidence and witness statements. I mean, that's how we solve cases, period. And so this case was different because you have 26 years of investigation, and it was all basically piled into a very long narrative. A 3-month trial is absolutely unheard of. I mean, it really is. You don't come across those very often. Even the preliminary hearing, most preliminary hearings are a day or two. Not as long as that one was. But it's because there was so much to the case. There was so many reports. There was so much work done that needed to be discussed in order to put that whole puzzle together. And so even though there wasn't that single piece of evidence, I think we had so much that tied together that proved it, that you had to listen to the whole thing. And so I was kind of felt at one point, and a few years ago, and I had this discussion with the investigators, is that I felt like kind of we couldn't catch a break. I felt like we wanted that one piece of smoking, that smoking gun. I think the closest we got to it was the human blood, and identifying and being out there, identifying the evidence through the ground penetrating radar. And I mean, face it, the operator was, archaeologist was checking and found some interesting spots, but he pointed to that one and he said, that's the one that interests me the most. And lo and behold, we get there and we find what amounts to decomposition trail, and then we recover some samples, and it comes back human blood. Now, would it have been perfect to get Kristin's DNA? Absolutely. But that goes back to my point where I kept saying, we can't catch a break. We're turning over every rock possible, going back and reviewing things. Did we miss something? Was something missed back in '96? And we did find some things that, hey, look at this. Let's try that angle. Let's see what that produces. But as time passed, you realize, hey, we're not catching a break. We need to keep working. And so I think the blood was as close to a smoking gun as you can get.
Who made the ultimate decision to actually move forward, right? I mean, ideally you would have had more evidence, you would have had a body, you would have had, and we waited 26 years for this to go forward. Who actually pulled the trigger and said, hey, let's prosecute this now?
I would say collectively our team did. Obviously that conversation took place between me and the district attorney, and I really felt strongly that we had proven it beyond a reasonable doubt. And we had tried to loop in the DA's office for several years because, explaining the case in a sit-down conversation does not do it justice. You need 3 months to tell the case. You need to, have 3 months to discuss issues with the case and challenges with the case. So ultimately, it was a conversation between the DA and myself, and that we made a decision that we were ready, and we believed the case was ready, and so we collectively decided it was time.
This double jeopardy, problem, had this been, I can't help but, and I have to ask you one more time, this is, you have to be pretty relieved this morning, right? This could have gone a different way.
Oh.
Were you worried about that at all? Did you have alternate plans for, what was going to happen if he was found not guilty?
Well, I mean, you said it. We wouldn't have been able to retry him on murder, and murder is the one that has no statute of limitations, and a lot of the lesser includeds have, or the lesser crimes have statutes that had run. So I knew this was our shot. This was our opportunity. Yeah, I would have been disappointed because I felt that Chris Prevail did a great job and proved it beyond a reasonable doubt. It would have changed my mood, but it would not have changed what our goal was. As I said yesterday, and that I had a commitment to recovering Kristin, and even if we had failed in the prosecution, that goal would have remained. Continuing to search and to find Kristin and follow more leads as they come in. And with all this publicity, for the case, we will get more leads, without a doubt. And that we will pursue them, even though Paul was convicted, it doesn't change the fact that Kristin is still missing.
How much manpower can you dedicate to that continued search for her at this point?
Well, Detective Cole's job is unsolved cases. The Board of Supervisors gave me that position probably 4 or 5 years ago. I specifically wanted a detective that was only going to work those cases. They weren't going to get called out in majority of the cases in the middle of the night for a murder or a serious crime. Their focus was reading, investigating cases that we just ran out of time to do, or were determined to be cold cases because they ran out of leads. And it's already produced itself. We had the 2 homicides up in the Atascadero 41 years before our announcement date a couple years ago, solved through the cold case position. So that was, I would probably say, Detective Cole will continue to work leads. Detective J.T. Camp from the DA's office will continue to partner with him, and they'll kind of share some of that workload. And then any time they need more help, just like on any case, they will summon the help of either our major crimes unit or special operations unit. And so they'll get the help they need. I mean, that's my responsibility, that whatever they need, I have to give them in order to be successful.
What about people who are watching this interview and all the other coverage that's happened? What do you want them to understand about this case that they may not?
Well, probably 2 things. Number one, I think there was this thought that this was a cold case because we weren't sharing any information. That's impossible to share information. It just destroys the integrity of the case. I would love to, many times when I was interviewed by you or another reporter, to say, well, let me tell you what we've done. It's very difficult to have to hold your tongue and say, I can't tell you. But people thought that meant that we weren't doing anything with it. And that's not true. I can speak for the 12 years that I've been in office. I know what was being done because I got regular briefings on what they were doing and how it was going. And we had regular meetings on, what the thoughts were from the investigative team. So that I would like them to know that it never got shelved. And as much as I support Chris Lambert and his podcast and what he did for us, I think people seem to think that Chris sparked it in us. That was not true. Chris helped us. Chris was, a really good, reliable partner in the sense that he would share stuff with us that ordinarily somebody might not share. And people would share things with him. So he was a good partner, but there was no spark that changed the case. And then probably the other thing I would say is that that I think that people see this, and I've experienced this already, as such a relief for the community, such a relief for people concerned with the Smart family, and trying to reemphasize that until Kristin is home, this case can't end. And whether or not that takes a year or 5 years or 10 years, I know how I would feel if it was one of my kids. I'd want to bury them in a location that we could visit, or in a way that allowed us to feel comfortable that we had her back, because she's been stolen. and they deserve her back. And that even though it's a great relief that we have successfully prosecuted Paul, it doesn't mean that we can stop. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's really not. But there's examples of cases. There was one up in Northern California, was a no-body homicide they prosecuted. And I think it was 2 years after they found him guilty that they found the body. And so it can happen. It's just going to be, I think, a little longer, harder road.
How confident are you that she will be found at some point?
Well, I'll say this. I'm always optimistic, and I will, concede to the fact that it's not going to be easy, but remain committed, just as we were with this investigation, is that we're not intending to shelf it at all, and that anything that comes in that will help us, we will immediately follow and actively follow, because I think that's important. And I just have to be realistic that it's not an easy road, but this wasn't an easy road. I mean, this was a lot of manpower, a lot of money that we spent to get this to this point. And so we've just kind of proved to ourselves and gave us some confidence it could be done.
One of the reporters asked yesterday, and I think I've said this before too, Kristin was only a resident of San Luis Obispo County during her school time for less than 9 months. Why is this community so committed to this case? Why are they so connected to this case?
Well, I think at the beginning there was a lot of fear. You were here when we had Rex Krebs' case, and it generated a lot of fear in the community. This generated a lot of fear, a 19-year-old, freshman college student disappearing. And so there was a lot of interest that way. I think the family drove a lot of interest because of their commitment to find their daughter. And then I think as time progressed, some of, it would kind of spark a new story when you guys would do an annual, recap of the story. But there's a lot of people by then that didn't even know. I mean, you have people that weren't even born. Matter of fact, the bulk of what's at Cal Poly wasn't even born when Kristin disappeared. And so I think them learning this story was really important. And I think that's what Chris Lambert did with the podcast. People that didn't know the story all of a sudden knew the story. And so I think that really invigorated the community more, because we have so many people that were around when it happened, but then weren't around when it happened, but now have been educated on the story. So I think it drove interest, and certainly they're concerned for the family not getting to have Kristin as part of their lives.
And I want to say thank you again to Sheriff Ian Parkinson for taking the time to sit down with me for that interview. Tomorrow, Cal Poly students and community members will gather to remember and honor Kristin Smart on campus. A remembrance is planned at the Health Center lawn starting at 5 p.m. It will include an open mic for students, staff, and faculty. Then the group will march to the Red Brick dorms for a candlelight vigil. I will be there to cover that event live for our news at 5 and 6 o'clock. You can find all of our coverage of the Kristin Smart case on our website, KSBY.com. You can use your phone to scan this QR code, and it will take you straight there. Thanks again for joining me tonight, and we will see you next time.